Alright guys, welcome back to another No Man's Sky video. Today let's talk about the really awesome upgrades we got for the living ship in the Endurance update. If you did not check the patch notes or did not play through a specific part of the new update, you likely missed many of the brand new tech modules that make the living ships that much better, including the possibility to finally upgrade their inventories the legit way. So we're gonna talk about that and more in this video, and let's begin. Now the basic premise is pretty simple. If you send out organic frigates out into expeditions and assuming that they come back successfully, there's a chance for them to also retrieve some of these brand new upgrades for their starship cousins. In this case, that would mean the living ship that you already have in your fleet. So the two main new upgrades you're going to see are the spawning sacks and the Psychonic eggs. In the case of the spawning sacks, these are basically the new way of upgrading your living ship inventory, which until this point it was not possible unless you did some cheating here and there. So it's totally possible to use these and finally reach the 48 inventory slot for the living ship and kinda use it as your main one. But it doesn't just stop there. We also get some brand new upgrade modules which come from the Psychonic eggs. Once one of these is retrieved from the frigate expedition, you're going to be able to go ahead, activate this, and this is going to give you a random type of upgrade. It can either be a procedurally generated upgrade like some of these C to S rank, but you can also get some of the new ones, which are the neural shieldings, the chloroplast membrane, and also the neural assembly, all of which actually provide some brand new functionalities for your ship. We are going to check those in just a little bit, but in the meantime I want to focus on how you can guarantee or at least maximize every single expedition to make it so that you get at least one of these upgrades every single time. So basically you're gonna want to go ahead at this guy right here and just send frigates into expeditions. In this case, you're gonna want to send the two organic ones that you have, one from the Endurance update and the other one assuming that you also completed the Leviathan expedition and got the max rank Leviathan. Because if you can do that, you can send these two out into expeditions, and you must have an organic frigate into these expeditions if you also want to get these upgrades back. It will not work with regular types of frigates. From this point on, you will want to make sure that you always get the expeditions that have the longest duration and possibly also the highest number of stars. So if you see something that requires your frigates to travel at least 2,000 light years, maybe even 3,000 or more, then these are the expeditions that you will want, as they will have the highest chances to reward you at the very least one of these during that process. If you can get one also with a high star rating, like at least 2 or 3, the better it is, because that's gonna give you even more chances for these new tech modules to be brought back. At the same time, I also recommended in the last video to use fuel oxidizers. You can use 3 of these per each expedition to reduce the total timer duration by 30%, so 10% for each one of them. But if you feel a bit cheeky, you can always cheat your way out of it and just change the system clock like 24 hours in advance, or however much you need for that expedition to be finished, and this is going to in turn just finish the expedition for you. For the Steam version, you will have to be in offline mode and possibly even shut off the internet for this to fully work. But yeah, I mean, you don't have to do that if you don't want to. Now, once these come back, as you can see, there's going to be a few indications that will let you know that you are about to get one of these brand new technologies. In this case, you're going to notice log corruption when you debrief your expedition, and you're going to notice at least one of them. The reason why I mentioned that the more light years the better is because there's going to be multiple steps, so multiple chances for them to be some of these corrupted logs, which in turn will give you either a Psychonic egg or the other upgrade that increases your inventory size. So let's talk about some of the new sentient upgrades that you get from the Psychonic eggs. In this case, one of them is going to be the Wormhole brain. This is basically both an economy and a conflict scanner baked into one single upgrade, as it gives you the same detailed information about all of the systems, kind of like regular ships. This wasn't possible until now, so you can totally main a living ship from this point on, and I think that that's a really awesome kind of result. The second one is going to be the chloroplast membrane. This is going to recharge your neural assembly, which is basically the equivalent of launch thrusters for the living ship, as long as you expose the ship to sunlight. And it actually happens quite fast. It takes about 10 seconds at most for 1% of it to upgrade, or well, in this case, to refill. So this means you never have to worry about that, making this much more desirable if you don't want to like spend time farming dihydrogen crystals and crafting fuel. The final one that I was able to get was the neural shielding, and just like what the name implies, this shields you from upcoming scans. For example, if you carry any contraband or high-value goods and don't want pirates or sentinels to scan and detect them, you can just use this and prevent all of that from happening. In this case, it seems it's a little bit iffy and also a bit RNG. It seems that the ship is the one that decides if it is going to let anybody scan you, so I'm not sure if that is a bug or if it's just something that is a part of this update, but it doesn't always work, so I just wanted to let you guys know. There is a final upgrade or tech module that I didn't get to see, but it is the grafted eye. So this is something that already existed on the ship, and it's basically the phase beam equivalent of the living ship. Assuming that it works, this is supposed to leech energy from enemy starships. In this case, what I noticed is that it just deals a lot of damage to their shields, and since they weren't dealing any damage to me, I was able to like just fully keep my shields. So yeah, probably a little bit more testing needs to be done here, but it's definitely a nice upgrade to have. Now, this isn't going to be the only type of resource that you can get from those Psychonic eggs. Procedurally generated upgrade modules are also part of them, so the C's, the B's, the A's, these can also drop over there, and even if they are on a low ranking like a B or a C, they can still be useful, because one of the major advantages of the living ship is the possibility of upgrading lower class procedurally generated upgrade modules into the max rank ones by simply using nanites. This is only specific to living ships. Normal ones don't have them, so I believe this is what makes these ships that much more desirable, even more so now that you can control the size of the inventory. And on that note, I also want to show you a pretty awesome system that will give you a lot of these upgrade modules so that you can fully upgrade your ship, kind of like how mine is right now. So you can see the coordinates right now on the top section of the screen. You will need to use a teleporter terminus to get to this location, which implies having all of the 16 glyphs. But once you do, and you save your save file at the space station, the next time you reload, if you just pulse around, you're going to always see some of these eggs spawning right in front of you. Shooting them will give you one upgrade module that, again, you can go ahead and fully upgrade by just using nanites. Overall, really awesome update, way more packed than I initially thought. Totally let me know down below, did this convince you to go back at your living ship? And if not, what the heck are you even waiting for? This literally makes the living ships the best ships right now in No Man's Sky. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.